Hello, this is Anna Pacheco with SantaFe101.com, your complete resource for real estate in Santa Fe and throughout New Mexico. My guest today is Phil Varela from Varela Realty. Phil, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes.
Great. Well, you know, you're one of the oldest real estate firms in Santa Fe, so I thought it'd be really important, especially at this time of, given what's going on in the country right now. It's a crazy time. People are moving and wanting to find other places to live. And Varela Real Estate, if I'm not mistaken, you've been around since 1949. It's a family-run
That's
real.
right.
And so you're one of the older firms here. So I know you took this business over from your dad. I knew your dad. I knew your grandmother. We're all kind of real connected. And just for our listeners, just of the 19 founding families of Santa Fe, Varela was one of those families. So your ancestors have been here. You came from a long line of ancestors here in Santa Fe. So, in a nutshell, tell me about you, how long you've been in charge of the firm, and just basically what Varela concentrates on.
So, what you said is true. I think it's really cool that we have such a history here. We're one of the oldest real estate companies, if not the oldest company. It's actually my grandfather, Frank Gomez, that started the company in 1949, and my parents took it over, and now it's me, so it's really 3 generations of business here. And Santa Fe has really changed quite a bit, over that time, and so has real estate, and I think that it's really special to have some history here in such a special city and be able to kind of help, not only help, be a part of a multi-generation business, but help multi-generations of people in real estate, through residential and their commercial needs. And so, yeah, it's really special.
So what is Varela? Do you concentrate mostly on regular real estate, or do you do commercial? Because I think I see your signs around, and sometimes I think, oh, they're doing commercial. Or so tell me a little bit about your business model.
Yeah, so we're a little bit different from other companies in Santa Fe in that we offer so many services. Right now, residential real estate has been fantastic, and the demand that is there. We do residential sales in terms of residential real estate, and it's been really, really busy. There's just a huge demand of people that are looking to purchase right now, and it has to do a lot with what's going on with the country, and also the fact that interest rates are super low right now. Along with that, though, we also do commercial sales, commercial management, management and leasing. So we have our hands full in multiple sources of different types of businesses, and we've kind of done that for quite a while now. But also we do what I personally do whatever I can to kind of use my license in any way that I can in servicing my clients. We also do a limited amount of residential management for select clients, but we do most of the units that we do manage are commercial. But like I said, right now residential sales has really kept our sales force busy. And when it comes to residential sales, my sales force, the brokers that work under me, they just concentrate on residential sales. I'm the only one in the office that, myself and my assistant and my team, we're the only ones that actually take hands-on commercial management, but we do manage hundreds of units right now.
And so what's it like in terms of commercial real estate? Are there a lot of businesses wanting to move in? I know we have some big commercial properties that are vacant. The former Kmart, my old alma mater, the St. Francis Elementary School. So there's some big pieces of real estate that are sitting empty right now. What are the kind of trends, or what are you seeing with that?
So there's been a lot of changes in real estate. I think that real estate's constantly changing, which is one of the things that's exciting about it. It's exciting about helping people with real estate, and excited for people to own real estate. I think right now residential is really where the hype is, and where people are wanting to provide most of their investment in, because it's just, it's busy, and there's a lot of demand for housing right now. 15 years ago, I would say that there was a trend where people were trying to convert their residential properties into commercial buildings because they felt like it was more demand in a commercial the commercial real estate market. Now we're seeing the opposite, where people are converting commercial into residential. And that has a lot to do with how people are running their business models. You know, there's less of a need for brick and mortar, and you're seeing a lot of retail type of stuff across the country, you know, that is doing a lot of stuff online. And so those big retail national chains there's less of a need for them, you know, so we're seeing some vacancies with that. That being said, I think that, you know, for general office space and lower priced commercial real estate, where we're seeing people still wanting to open their little offices and stores and things like that, as well as industrial properties, there is a demand for that, and it's pretty balanced in terms of how many owners are out there and how many tenants are out there. And you know, as long as it's an affordable price, and people are really careful, I think, when they're opening their business, because of all the stuff that's going on with the economy, within the news, and also, of course, with COVID. And I think that COVID has also changed things as how people run their business as well. It's been, you know, we're having a conversation where on Zoom, where probably nine or 12 months ago, we'd be face to face, you know, and so that happens a lot with how people are running their business. Teleworking is becoming, you know, more of the norm. And so there's less brick and mortar, but there's also a great demand for commercial real estate in different types. Like I said, like, you know, office space is balanced, and industrial spaces, one of the things that is in super demand. And I would say it's, you know, we don't have enough of that space in order for the amount of tenants that we have.
So what do you mean by industrial space? Like,
Industrial space means like mostly like office, warehouse space, and then like things that are things that you'll find in industrial zoned areas, like, you know, maybe mechanic shops, or you know, those types of things, you know, like woodworking, and those, you know, just storage in general. That's industrial, you know, those types of businesses. We see, you know, more of a demand for that right now. And I think that across the country, we're seeing that, where industrial spaces is in more of a demand, and we're seeing retail, and, you know, they're seeing it in quite a bit of a decline. At least they're saying 5% decline over the next 12 months.
is Santa Fe, I know it's an expensive city to live in, but is it an expensive city to do business in? If people are thinking about maybe having a business here, I mean, is it relatively, is it a better place than, you know, some
Well,
of
you
the
know, expensive is a relative term, you know. I mean, there's certain things about Santa Fe that you know, people's businesses thrive. You know, when you compare it to Chicago or New York or California, you know, we're not expensive at all, you know, in terms of running a business. I mean, we're kind of, when you compare it to, you know, Midwest or Texas, things like that, then yeah, we have a higher cost of living, a higher minimum wage, and those things do affect the cost to run a business. But at the same time, like, there's certain things, and there's a lot of, we're lucky enough to have a large kind of tourism market, and a large second home market. Now there's a lot of money and desire and specialty when it comes to Santa Fe, and people, you know, during a good economy, they're not afraid to spend their money, which allows for certain types of businesses, and a lot of types of businesses, to thrive when the economy is good in general, you know. And I think that most of the business owners in Santa Fe have done quite well, as you know, and you know, obviously COVID has affected things, but Santa Fe is really a special place. And you know, it's not necessarily a place that's difficult to run a business if you have a good business model. You know, I think restaurant spaces, it's one of the things that was really did well in Santa Fe because of the tourism market. They've kind of suffered over the last 9 months with COVID, and I think that that'll rebound, obviously, when things start to kind of rebound with you know, a vaccine and that sort of thing. But you know, Santa Fe in general, I think, is a great place to run a business.
So what are you doing with, you know, like I say, us normal folks, people that don't come here with a lot of money, but they want to live in Santa Fe? I know, I mean, it's like so hard to find anything. I mean, isn't the median cost of house like over 500,000 right
You
now? I
know,
mean,
that jumped over the last quarter, and I feel like, you know, it's really, I don't know if it'll stay there. I think because inventory is super low, and because interest rates are super low as well, you know, it kind of pushed prices in an area really fast, and I don't know if it's going to stay there. I think that it has to, kind of, for a while, but it balanced out in terms of affordability, because you can get money for cheaper. Prices went up. So the mortgage rates are not necessarily, as far as what somebody's paying for a mortgage on a monthly basis, that didn't necessarily change all that much, because of the fact that money's cheaper. And that's why we're seeing kind of an influx in pricing where, you know, it's, and just demand. I mean, sorry, like, you know, inventory is just super low across the country. And we're seeing that in certain markets where there's multiple offers, people purchasing properties above list price. We're one of those markets where demand is really, and it's part of the reasons that, you know, like, I think that COVID and things like that have pushed people into our market because they like what we see here, you know. So
Well, and I've heard there's bidding wars, people just pay cash, that type of thing. That's what's going on. Do you steer people up north if you can, or do you sell up north at
well,
all?
I don't steer anything, but there's a demand for properties up north for sure, you know, and we do try and help people when they want to purchase properties in the northern part of New Mexico. You know, I own property in New Mexico, northern New Mexico, and I've helped several families purchase residential property in northern New Mexico and sell residential property in northern New Mexico. So there's different areas in northern New Mexico that we always kind of work. We also have a lot of my brokers that work the Albuquerque market pretty readily as well. You know, we're licensed in I don't know how many different, let's see, MLSs were Albuquerque, Taos, Santa Fe, the GAR, which is Carnum, which is the commercial MLS. So we're part of a number of boards where we can kind of help people in different areas.
What about Rio Rancho?
Well, that's a part of the Albuquerque board.
That is part of Albuquerque. Yeah.
Greater Albuquerque area. Yep.
And are you seeing more of a trend now because of like the fires in California? Are you seeing more Californians trying to come out here, or at least inquiring, or is it still across the board in terms of
Well, I
the?
don't know if I would just say it's certain areas that are coming out here. I think it's, you know, first of all, there's always a drive for local people, you know, they're living here and that have been from here and that, you know, need to have purchase and sell real estate because of their needs, you know, families growing or they're downsizing, retiring, those types of things. And so that always feeds our market. But at the same time, like I said, we've seen influx from several different locations across the country of people wanting to come to Santa Fe. Now that's always been the case. So we've always had a big second home and type of market. And we've always had, you know, that special type of area to where people come here and they never want to leave. And so, but now it just seems like it's with the demand of real estate increasing and the inventory lower and things that are going on with COVID, it seems like that's increased over the last year.
You say that that your firm takes care of residential properties. What does that mean? Are you property managers also, or?
We do, like I said, we do property management. I do residential sales primarily for when it comes to residential. For select clients, we will manage a property for people. Like if I were to sell you a property and you need my help in managing it, because we have those systems in place through our commercial systems. I mean, we probably manage 100 units of residential property, but we manage more of commercial real estate.
And what does that
So
mean?
because
Somebody buys a house here, but they actually have another home in Chicago, and then you just take care of it while they're gone, or they have people renting it, or that type of thing?
yeah, or sometimes people will purchase an investment, whether it's residential or commercial, and say, hey, I need your help managing this property for me because I don't have the time or energy to do that. I'll help them acquire the asset, and then we'll manage it. We'll keep up the physical integrity of the property, making sure all the repairs are always constantly taken care of. We'll keep the vacancy rate down by putting high quality tenants in there, and we'll manage the tenant, the leases, and all the repairs. Well, that really all the owner has to do with their investment is collect their check after all the bills are paid, and waiting for that appreciation to incur year after year. So
Are you seeing a lot of that? Are you seeing are more people doing that, like trying to just have investments out here?
I mean, that always happens, right? But just with the demand in real estate across the board, we're seeing more of it right now. People are wanting to invest, and I think that with the volatility that we're seeing in the Dow and the markets, a lot of times when that happens, people pull that money out and they invest in real estate. And we're seeing a lot of that happening right now. So
It's better to plant it there. So how big is Varela Real Estate? How many brokers do you have?
we're a smaller company because of the way that we're aligned. We don't recruit and recruit and recruit. We like to, we have an excellent reputation. We're very selective about the brokers that we bring on board, and in order to carry on that reputation of service. And so we have about a dozen brokers. They do residential sales, and then, like I said, we're structured a lot with the commercial management as well. So, or just property management in general.
Is competition fierce? I mean, it seems like everybody in Santa Fe is a realtor.
You know, it's this is the thing. You know, markets change, and you know, and it was like this in the early 2000s too, where everybody wanted to be a real estate agent. They thought they were going to get rich in doing so. You know, the business is complicated. It's not an easy business, and it's something where, you know, service and reputation is very, very important to us, and we make sure that we take care of that for our clients. Then the markets, you know, real estate markets kind of crashed in 2008 and 9, and that number went way down because people couldn't, you know, it was tough for people. So right now we're kind of in that same area of the early 2000s where everybody's wanting to get their real estate license, but there's really only a handful of brokers that are quality that are out there, unfortunately. And you know, I think it's important for people to choose the right broker and the right brokerage firm when they're looking at hiring somebody to represent their needs.
So how would somebody go about that? What would you recommend if somebody's watching this now? Why should they choose you versus somebody else?
Well, I think for all the services that we offer, I mean, first of all, we've been in business for such a long time, but I think it's always good to sit down and talk to people about what specific needs you have and how that broker is going to fulfill those specific needs, because it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. And I think that what we're really good at is listening to our clients' needs and you know, within ethically and honestly making sure that we take care of those needs and put those needs first and foremost for our clients. And that's why we've been in business for so long. That's what my grandfather did. Been in business 1949, and you know, carrying on through the generations. We kind of have to focus on that in order to kind of survive through all the national companies. We're locally owned and independent. We're like one of the last companies that are in Santa Fe. So.
Well, you know, and I remember when I was growing up here, I remember seeing the Gomez Realty signs. So I remember that. I guess they changed the name later when your
Yeah,
dad.
he actually started in insurance, you know, prior to real estate. But yeah, since 1949, we've been a real estate firm.
Yeah, well, good. Anything else you want to say before we start to wrap up?
No, I think that's it. I think we covered a lot, and I appreciate the interview. And you know, if anybody needs our help, I encourage them to reach out to us, and we're happy to sit down or talk over Zoom and see what we could do to help you with your needs.
And we'll have all your details on SantaFe101.com. Phil, thanks so much.